Hello, everyone, and welcome to Longer and Harder, the show on the internet that's a little bit odd of. There we go. Let's get a welcome sign in there. Hello, the show on the internet is super professional and completely forgot to do most of the things it needs to do to make this show run. So on point as always is what we're at. How are you all doing today? I hope you're having yourselves a wonderful, wonderful. What is it? Sunday afternoon. Um, always good to see. I can't use this one. That one's dumb. Everything's a mess, and I love every bit of it. Hello, Wooden Toad, and hello, Heat Shield. I hope you two having fun. It's a gorgeous day here in Omaha, Nebraska, which is always good to see. I've been enjoying it. I actually have my window open, which is great because you know what? It's been fucking hot, and sometimes you just need a little bit of fresh air. There we go. Got the chat working again. Hello, STM. How are you? And hello, Awkward Pasta. Oh, I hope everyone's having fun. Oh, Micro might not be here. He's out with his family. I forgot all about that. He's out in Denmarky land doing Denmarky land things, and whatnots, whatever that means. But yeah, I don't really have too much, to do as far as housekeeping. We can go on to housekeeping. Yeah, I don't really have too much. If you didn't watch it, you probably should. I ran a D&D session yesterday on Christy Winters' channel. Was my wife's first time playing D&D, so you can go listen to her be super awkward and stuff. So yeah, that's been kind of cool. That was kind of fun and kind of cool. We've not been able to leave the house for over a week due to our masks not arriving yet. Ooh, that is rough. I have way too many masks. I have a lot of masks. I buy the cheap ones from Amazon, which I hate buying from Amazon because Amazon, right? But also they are cheap and they work. They do what they're supposed to do. So you gotta do what you gotta do. However, I recently saw somebody at my clinic that I work at. And I'll show you. Somebody at the clinic that I work at take like just patches that you know those like iron-on patches, and they put it on their masks. And so she's got like a really pretty one with like a rose and stuff. And like I have all these random ass patches, which these are from Destiny, whatever the hell that is. I think it's a video game. And I have all these random patches that I will never use. So I kind of want to stick it on there. I also have one from Firefly, which I actually do like because Firefly's a cool show. So I might stick my like random patches and stuff onto my mask, my black mask, just so that they're different. Like they don't mean anything. I don't think I'll get in trouble for them. I don't know, maybe I will get in trouble for them. But people have been wearing some pretty funky masks at work anyway. It's like the only thing we can have that's decorative, so we might as well wear. No one can give you crap for wearing a decorative mask at work. But I do have I have like 2 from work. I have 3 from work. I have 4 masks from work that work made, and then I have a bunch that I bought from Amazon. So I do have way too many masks. So I don't know, maybe that'll be my afternoon today. Is just adding patches to my mask. Like I said, I don't actually know what these are or they mean. I know what they are. I just don't know what they mean. But I have them, so might as well use them, right? We have a lot of homemade, but bought more at Target. That's good. Apparently, we can't wear the Hanes mask, so I wear them, which is nice. That's good. Yeah. My only problem with masks is I wear them at work, so they have to be like super comfortable for me to wear at work because I wear them for like 6 to 7 hours at a time at work, and so we ain't fucking around with masks. So the ones that go behind your ears, if they're too tight, they just hurt like hell. After 6 hours, they hurt really bad back there. So I have to make sure that they're big enough for my big old head, and then they're comfy enough for that nonsense. But so yeah, so I have a couple of handmade ones that just like they wrap behind your behind your head, which aren't bad. So I just I have a lot of masks. It's a thing. It's an accessory now for life. That means you're a fucking nerd. I am a fucking nerd. Our sister's making one with flowers on it, and the post is taking a long time. Oh yeah. I had an elastic to some of them so they don't rust behind the ears. Yeah, I really got to figure out. I've seen there's a lot of nurses. Obviously, like I said, I work at a hospital, so there's a lot of nurses that are super smarter than I am. And because most of them wear headbands, and I actually wear a headband at work because my hair is ridiculous at this point. That have like buttons on the side, and then they like hook them to the buttons so that they go like here, and then they get hooked up to the buttons, and then same on the other side. And I thought that was really cool. And I'm debating if I want to do that to my headbands. The only problem with these are kind of really like elasticy. I also take them on and off throughout work since I don't always need them. I only need them when it's super sweaty and I need my hair out of my face, which is a lot of the time. So that might be a thing. So people are smart. People are smart with masks, which is great. It's still a little disappointing to go onto stores. I have seen more masks in Nebraska over the last like 2 weeks than I had the previous like 4 months or whatever. So that's kind of nice to see that they're not. People are actually wanting to wear masks, which in Nebraska was a bit of a problem. Also, Nebraska's going up. We're starting our second wave because of course we are, right? So Nebraska's going up on cases and whatnot. So that's nice. Just go full ponytail. My hair isn't quite. It's getting there. It's I think maybe another month or so we'll have full ponytail, but right now I just get this little bit here, and it really doesn't do much, and it doesn't really grab like most of my hair. So I'm not quite a full ponytail. So I'm at headband state at the moment. That's just where we are. So so can't quite do that. And honestly, it does help with the sweaty bits because work is work. That's when you braid the top. I don't know what that means. I so rarely have long hair. I have not had my hair this long in a very long time, so I don't really know what to do with it. The last time I just kind of let it do stupid shit for a while. This time I'm trying to be a little bit more like, let's say, like, have it not be like stupid all the time, but it's still stupid all the time. I don't know. It's long hair. I haven't been to a barber in a very long time, and I probably won't for a very long time because I needs to. I really need. I don't trust sitting at a barber chair for however many minutes with somebody like breathing on top of me. I don't want that. It's okay. So yeah, I just avoid all the things. Get things shipped to me. Buy things. If I have to go to the store, I go to stores that are small and easy to do whatever. I do have. I went out to the hobby shop. Come here. Went out to the local hobby shop yesterday and bought myself a new giant robot to build. So real excited about that one. It's this thing. So that's gonna be cool because my last giant robot is currently in pieces because I'm trying to fix some of the joints. So I just keep myself busy. That's the point. You got to keep yourself busy. I have like a billion hobbies now. I do all the D&D stuff with my friends, and I do the building of the giant robots and the occasional building of cardboard things, cardboard boxes for funsies. I didn't do this one. So that's been keeping me busy for a little while, which is good because I don't go out anymore. It's both a good thing and a bad thing. My wife was talking about how she's like, oh, I'm such an introvert and shit, and then she's like, I miss my friends, and I don't think she knows what an introvert is because I'm like, I'm such an introvert. I don't miss having to do random conversations with my friends, and like, not that I don't like my friends, but it just I'm okay with not seeing them as often. I'm just weird like that. Pretty small box for a giant robot. Yeah, all my giant robots are pretty small. So, but it's giant robot. This one, my Evangelion giant robot is the biggest of the robots that I have. The only problem with this, it was kind of a cheap quality one, and I'm a little sad about it. I am going to, I think, in the near future here, buy some paints, and I get some of the paints and the stickers on there, and get it like looking a little nicer. It's just the quality wasn't all that good, so I think it's gonna just need a little bit of extra work before it's like I'm happy with it, which is fine. Again, more things to do. Beer of the week. I have to reach into my fridge for beer of the week. Which isn't really a beer of the week because it's the same beer we had last time. So I probably still have the beer of the week thing on here because it's the exact same beer I had last time, but I had two of them and I only drank one of them last time, so I'm gonna drink the second one today. I think that seems rather appropriate. So we'll do that. Look, Koala doesn't even have legs. I know, right? I just did all my grocery shopping online, but it's nice to have a mask order here. Most people are complying. That's good. Nebraska's supposed to have a mask order. I know that whoever health general whatever person, I don't know what they're called or their type, whatever, was pushing for a mask mandate in Nebraska. I don't think it got passed because people are still not wearing masks. So I don't think it got passed. I think Douglas County, which is the county that I live in, has is getting one like starting on Monday, so maybe. So yeah, I'm all for having more of them. It's just you're in Missouri now, but this is a county one. That's good. Yeah, Kansas City is kind of I think Kansas City got hit pretty hard. Now I don't know which part of Missouri you're in. Missouri is a big state, but the only one I know is Kansas City. So yeah, no mass laws here despite the spike in numbers because so-called Australia is horrible. The U.S. is not. The U.S. is a fucking mess. So it's all a mess. Everything's a mess. We're all gonna die, and it's oh well. I don't know. I don't. I got to the point where it's hard. It's hard. Like it's not that I don't care. It's incredibly draining to care. Like I said, I work at a hospital, so I get to I was reading this article, or not this article, this tweet. Somebody pointed this out about how stressful it is to be like not just being COVID stuff, because COVID stuff's already stressful enough, right? But how stressful it is to be in COVID stuff, be trying to be the people who are like trying to be helpful by like wearing masks and social distancing and trying to work from home and trying to be those people, right? And yet have so much of the country and so many people kind of work against you in that regard, where they're like where you will get they will I mean they will work against you, right? They will not wear masks, they won't social distance, and how like that just piles on more and more of the stress onto everything. And that's what working at a hospital, at least the hospital that I work at, is like, because like I can't social distance, or I have to wear a mask, and I can't social distance at work. Like it's just impossible with the job that I have. So I have to go to work. And yet every time I go to work, there's some idiot who I work with, and this is why I don't tell my coworkers that I do this show, because there's always some idiot that I work with that has some stupid take on mask wearing, and I'm like, you work at a fucking hospital. You should know better. You work at a hospital. You're supposed to be like learned and stuff, but they're not. And then we have like dumb takes. I had one coworker of mine say that masks would not be, but masks would go, we wouldn't have to wear masks. She said something along the like, we wouldn't have to wear masks in December because it would be after the election, as if somehow masks and election, or COVID and elections, are related. I know that there's like a relationship there, but they're not. Like COVID didn't come up because there's an election this year. That's not why COVID happened in the whole world, was because the US was having an election. And it's insane that people think that way. Again, especially like people who are supposed to be smart, people who work at hospitals, right? My hospital is particularly dumb too. I wanted to tweet this out, but I want to grab an actual the actual wording of the questions that we ask. But before people come into the clinic that I work at, we have to ask them like a series of questions. The only important one, the only important one is, do you have a fever or do you have symptoms of COVID? And if they do, we're like, get the fuck out. You're not allowed here. And then we take their temperatures, because we need to make sure that they don't have a fever. If they have a fever, and get the fuck out. Right? That's how it's supposed to be. We also have questions on like, have you traveled to an area with a widespread outbreak of COVID? And I'm like, fucking whole country. Like, there in the US, in Omaha, is an area with widespread outbreak of COVID. Like, that's a dumb question, because all of the US is that. And then one of the other ones that I asked is, have you traveled outside the country to any of these countries with high rates of COVID? It's like, no, they haven't, because we're not allowed in the rest of the world, because we are the part of the world with a high amount of COVID, which is why we are not allowed everywhere. So this is a really dumb question to ask everyone, because no, they didn't just go to a fucking country with high rates of COVID because we're not allowed to go there. It's the dumbest questions that we still have them, as if it's as if like somehow ask, like, what are we gonna do if they say, yeah, I've been to an area of high outbreak, I've been to Florida, what are you gonna do? It's not like we care. We haven't cared forever, so why bother asking the questions? Like, it's like this pretend concern to keep COVID out, when it's like, we're still open, we're still here, we're not gonna stop them from coming in. So what is the point of asking the questions? It's a lot of dumb. It's just a lot of dumb all around. Okay. Okay. So with that said, we are going to move on to our video menu, which hopefully, let's double check if you got the right. Nope, you do not have the right video menu. I like you, Streamlabs OBS. I also dislike you because you save in weird ways that I don't want you to save. I want you to grab that image for me, please. And thank you. We have ourselves our video menu for today. We have 70-Year-Old Transition by Blair White, Immigration by ARTV, SJWs vs. Sonic by Geekdom 101, Interview with World Health Organization by Random Arcam, Shadows by Mr. Thrive and Survive, Secular Sharia by Computing Forever, and The Human Disease by Daily Wire. The Human Disease one's actually called, like, liberals think that humans are the disease, or something around that line. something in that. There's a couple of anti-science, a lot of political stuff today. I don't know. I felt like adding more political stuff and less anti-science stuff today. I don't know why. I just did. If you would like to vote, hopefully Cloudbot would show up. There he is. All you gotta do, upside down eye, vote, and then the number you like to vote for, and that's what we'll do. An American can't do this job. He's a PhD comp scientist. Which American? One of my professors that were supposed to come in and teach at Hubby's new university was not allowed in on an H-1B because apparently an American can do his job. And I can't do his job because he's a PhD comp scientist. Yeah, I had I've definitely had heard friends and stuff. Excuse me, who are like at universities and stuff, and they were super worried about when Trump was trying to pretty much ban students from having student visas to be able to come to school if they didn't have like in-person classes. That was a big concern for a while with a lot of my friends, which is a very dumb like this terrible push of like trying to open excuse me, trying to open schools is insane. It's more of this like let's pretend that everything's okay kind of deal. Like we're gonna open schools so that you can all feel like everything's okay. So similar to the like the opening up bars and opening up gyms and whatnots that happen kind of all over the country, where it's not because things are safe. Things didn't open because things were safe. Things opened because we wanted to have this like pretend notion that things are safe. We just wanted to pretend that things were safe, so we opened up everything up. Even against warnings, knowing that a second wave would hit, and hey, lo and behold, a second wave hit. And again, because we wanted to pretend that everything like it's this weird mentality that if we just open up, that somehow everything is going to be fine. Like if we just pretend that we don't have this deadly disease that is killing young people now, like it's killing people my age, which is that terrifying. That somehow like that makes it okay. I don't know. It's a weird mentality. I hate that schools are open. Thankfully, our parents are keeping the kids home. That's good. If I had kids, I'd keep them home. I don't have kids, so I just have to deal with the fact that I have to deal with kids. Which Fantastic. I love the fact that I get exposed to everything every day. I love working in medicine. It's not at all terrifying during a pandemic. You can't really afford to keep yours at home. Yeah, I know a couple of families who can't afford it, which is rough. Like, and that absolutely sucks. That is like the terrible part about it is that I know that school isn't supposed to be daycare for people, but for so many people and of so like of so many, especially lower to middle income, because even if you have like a decent income, childcare is fucking expensive. Like it's an incredibly expensive thing to do, especially on week after week after week. Like that shit adds up real quick. So you don't have to be like, I'm not like, you don't have to be super poor or even poor to not be able to afford healthcare, or not healthcare, to not be able to afford daycare. You can be fairly off and still not be able to afford daycare. It's crazy how much that happens. So if I were you, and if people who are on stream, if you have extra bits of cash, I'm gonna do this, and I highly suggest that people can do this. I'm choosing to I've kind of dropped a couple of the people that I support on Patreon, so that I can move that money over to creators that I know are trying to keep their children at home. So I'm gonna go support Mrs. Snarky and Godless Iowan. I'm gonna go support them because I do know that for both of them, they want to keep their children home, and so but finances again are a problem. So I'm gonna try to help them out. If you have extra, I would strongly suggest you try to find one of those YouTubers or creators that vote is not over. Feel free to vote. Try to help them out, because I think they do kind of I don't want to force people to have to send their children to school, because that sucks. It might not suck for the kids. Like so far, a lot of the studies and a lot of statistics showing that the kids are more or less fine. But the teachers are probably not going to be fine. And kids still carry around the shit. Like, just because you're not affected by it doesn't make you not a carrier. It also means, I mean, I think I think in like 2 months after schools open up, I think it's gonna be fucking awful, because yeah. the capitalism is so fucked. You need to send kids to an unsafe school so that so they get any care. It's true. It is absolutely true that's how fucked up it is. That the best thing to do for your kids is to send them to an entirely unsafe environment. And it's rough. It's real rough. You can no longer vote. I think without even looking at the whatchamacallits, I think I know exactly who won, because I saw a lot of sevens. A lot of sevens pop up there. Complete that poll, and I believe with a Cloudbot would tell us here in a second. Hey Micro, how are you doing today? Nightbot or Cloudbot will tell us here in a second exactly what we're gonna do. Which I think is gonna be Daily Wire. I don't know. Come on, thing. Yeah, 7 was. My hypothesis is that people just hate their kids. No, some of it in the States, some of it is definitely like economical. I think that if you are a person who is pushing for schools to be open, you probably do hate your children. But if you're definitely but if you're you know, if you have to send your kids to school because you can't afford to keep them at home, that's an economical thing, which sucks. But there are definitely some people who are pushing to have schools reopen, and that's I mean, it's the same kind of selfishness as opening up bars. Like, it's not just about the kids aren't going to be fine at all. But neither will the teachers, neither will all the people who interact with the kids. It's such a mess.
The New York Times, a former newspaper, has issued a pamphlet on how to cover stories about
Stop. Sorry, that was a lot of noise. Probably a lot of noise all at once. Do we have this set up for VLC? I think we do, right? Yeah, there it is. I think we do. Okay, dokie. Yeah, we have it set up for VLC. So, let's get ourselves this video going. So the whole name of the video. I already forgot the whole name of the video. I think it's got something to do with like liberals. Liberals think that liberals think that humans are the disease. I think something around that line. By the Daily Wire. So that should tell you like most of what you need to know. It's by the Daily Wire. What else do you need to know besides it's by the Daily Wire? Okay, I'm gonna keep working on my Spanish, so I won't talk much. Yeah, keep working on your Spanish. My favorite is the ones that think they totally okay to use kids as tests. Yes, that has been a trend on Twitter, is people being like, oh, you know, this is how we're gonna find out how bad it's gonna be. Let's do an unethical test on children, and second, let's do an unethical test on the adults too, because like the test isn't just on the kids, right? Like, it's not just we're gonna test if kids exposure is gonna be like through the worst or through the roof or not. It's also gonna be like, hey, are they gonna spread it to the whatchamacallit, to the adults in the room as well? So yeah, you are doing a very unethical test. If somebody who does science on people's, that is not ethical at all remotely. And it's also very telling because a lot of the people who are making these decisions, like Betsy DeVos, like Trump, the people who are making decisions are not sending their kids to school, starting school, for very obvious reasons. And it kind of like it's not even well hidden. Like, yeah, you're not sending your kids to school because it's unsafe, but you're gonna make everyone else do it, which is fantastic. Why not? Liberals think humans are the disease by someone who thinks liberals are the left. There you go. I'm all for obstacles, text on kids, but at least have it be fun. The Daily Wire sounds like it should be a newspaper for kids show about sentient robots. Yeah, right. It does kind of sound like what was it, a Scientific America for Kids or kind of thing. I think there was a Scientific America for Kids. The US is very known for unethical testing. That is the thing that we are very good at. All right, I don't know this guy's name. He's gonna tell us about how liberals hate humanity or something, so I'm sure that it's not gonna be a straw man all the way through, but it's definitely going to be a straw man all the way through. So let's see what he's got to say.
The New York Times, a former newspaper, has issued a pamphlet on how to cover stories about sexual misbehavior. The pamphlet reads as follows. When conservative Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh was accused of having attacked a woman while in his teens, we covered the story in a very thorough, careful fit of unreasoning hatred and hysteria. We reported any plausible accusation, whether it was that Kavanaugh had murdered a series of teenagers in a 40-year coast-to-coast.
What is this? This sounds entirely okay. What? Okay, I'm like I am tempted to go look for this pamphlet on like the actual video, but who who along with me thinks that that's gonna not be a thing that's in that video? I am going to, for the sake of actually Andrew Kovlin is
The New
is the guy's name. I am gonna go look at their things to see if they actually like list where they got this whatever thing here. No, they certainly don't. Check out the Cold War, what we saw, new podcast. Listen to episodes of podcasts. Listen to episodes of other videos by Andrew Kaplan. So, I don't. Yeah, so I don't know what he's talking about. I'm sure that it's bullshit. So I'm fairly certain that whatever it is, whatever pamphlet, New York Times pamphlet. I guess we can try to pull that up. Let's see, New York Times pamphlet. And let's see if we can get a window so y'all can see what I'm doing rather than just me kind of doing, you know, nonsense by myself. Google there. Let's turn you on. There we go. All right, so video one, we'll scoot you over a tiny bit. All right, so New York. Well, he was New York Times. What was his sexual harassment pamphlet? Pamphlet. I don't even know. That's what he called it. Is this no? This is just stories by the New York Times on sexual harassment. When you experience sexual harassment, how universities deal with sexual harassment. There doesn't seem to be a thing, but so probably made up. Not gonna lie, probably made up. Probably entirely made up. Use DuckDuckGo. Oh fuck, I forgot Kevin was a thing. Why do you have to remind me this is the worst timeline ever? It is, right? So yeah, I'm gonna go with probably a bunch of bullshit.
Kill spree, or that Madame Ospenskaya, the palm reader from Queens, had a vision in which Kavanaugh boiled and devoured a female child as a college prank. In the same way, when Democrat presidential candidate Joe Biden was accused of sexually assaulting a woman 27 years ago when he was 70, we remained silent for 19 days, then ran an Easter Sunday story on page 20 explaining away the charges. For some reason, some of our readers have become confused about the standards by which we report on these important...
Okay, this sounds like he did. I believe it. He did like beer. It's true. He did like beer. He likes his beer. So I don't know what the leanings are of the New York Times. I don't think they're left leaning. As far as I know, but I also don't read them. Also left leaning for conservatives is pretty much like you say bad things about Trump and therefore you are a leftist because apparently Trump can't do anything bad or something like that. So that's usually what they think of when it comes to like left leaning, you know, people who actually question things. Tends to be the thing. But I don't think they are like actual, like I don't think they actually do any left leaning things. I will agree with the bit about the amount of silence that happened with Joe Biden. I don't agree with that. I think that the Joe Biden thing was a bunch of bullshit. Like, if you're going to be all like Me Too and shit, you have to apply that. You have to apply that same standard equally. And I saw a lot of people not apply that equally, that standard equally. And I also saw a lot of people be dismissive of Tara Reade's accusation is illegitimate, and I think that's harmful. I don't know. I'm not a woman, so I don't know. I don't have experience with this, firsthand experience with this, so I can't be like. But I feel like part of the whole Me Too movement was, you know, listen and not be dismissive of women when they come up and say, hey, you know, these are things that happen to me. You're not supposed to be dismissive about it, because it's the whole point of Me Too is to encourage more women to be open about their what's happened to them. So I did feel like the whole Biden thing, where a lot of people were incredibly dismissive of Tara Reade and outright tried to do the thing to try to push the story to the side or whatever. I didn't particularly like it. The difference is Biden's execution was far less fucking credible. Like, Biden is a creepy as fuck old man. I don't know the credibility. That's the thing. Like, I'm not a detective. That's not my job. So I don't want to like. I feel like that was the lesson we were supposed to take from Me Too, is that to sit around and scrutinize the credibility of accusations is part of the problem. And maybe I'm wrong, right? But that was the thing that I got out of it, is to sit around and scrutinize the credibility only makes it more difficult for women and men. I should be equal here. Men and women to come out and talk about their experiences, because then people are going to sit around and be incredulous of their experience, and that just makes it harder for them to do that. It's what happened to Dr. Ford, where she's I think she still has like I think she still has to have like guards and shit, because she's like gets death threats and whatnot. It's like that was what happened to her, is that people were incredibly incredulous of her accusations, and so people were like, oh yeah, and they were incredibly dismissive. So I see it as a double standard. That's not a tech, that's not my job, is what a detective would say. Ooh, that logic right there. So, well, yeah, I believe that he's an abuser. He is a position of power. Both options suck. We need communism. That's true. People need to be cool the hell down on death threats. Honestly, just goes around threatening death. I know, it's weird. Yeah, do we need communism? That's a good point. Do we need communism? I don't know. We probably do. We need something. Honestly, I don't like. I'm at the point where, like on Twitter, I follow a lot of people with a lot of different points of views on the spectrum. I mean, points of view that I still kind of, I think, align with each other, but at different extremes. So I have a friend of mine who's a full out anarchist, and I think that's fantastic. Like, not that I think anarchy is like the solution to our problem, but whatever the hell we're doing now is clearly not working. I don't necessarily know like which of the other kinds of governments that we could run, or not governments that we could run, are the best ones, and might be something that, hey, we maybe got to try something else out, or maybe it is communism. Maybe communism is going to be the best one. Maybe it's some sort of anarchism. I don't know what the gradients of anarchism are. But whatever the hell we're doing now is definitely not working. Like, this pandemic really shows you how incredibly broken the system that we live in is, and that we should really try to dismantle the system itself. The fact that billionaires, billionaires have made more billions, right? Like, as if they need more billions, while everyone else in the world has suffered during the COVID stuff, because people have been funneling money to them. The government has been funneling money to them, and not to the people who need it. So clearly, capitalism doesn't work. It fucks us all over, and we just sit around and pretend like it does work. I do think that this is kind of a time for change. I don't want to be all like, I don't want to make predictions, because I'm not a prediction. Like, I don't know. Like, there is I don't want to predict what happens. We're at the point where I think, almost regardless of who wins the presidency, because I don't think it matters who's going to win the presidency. I think regardless, there's going to be a big change. Like, I think if Trump wins, I don't think the people are going to stand for that, to be 100% like honest with you. I think if Biden wins, I don't think he's going to do jack shit, and then people aren't going to stand for that either. So I think we've gotten to the point where, like, we've gotten to a tipping point where, regardless of who wins, people aren't going to stand for non-action or regressive action. I don't think people are going to stand for that, because that's what we've pretty much been seeing as the trend, is that people just aren't standing for that kind of stuff. That's why we have all this, you know, George Floyd BLM stuff going on, is because people are tired and don't want to stand for like inaction anymore. And unfortunately, I think Biden is a candidate of inaction. I don't think he's going to do jack shit at all. Like he's at best he'll not get in the way. That's what I'm really hoping for, is that at very best he is entirely a pushover. Like he's entirely a pushover, and the Democrats, especially like actually progressive Democrats, take over the House and Senate and whatnots. And he just lets them do whatever. Like that's the best hope that I can have, because then we might not have to have like because as much as I like revolutionary change, I also understand that revolutionary change is also difficult. So I don't want to like have that happen, but I think that if Biden gets in the way of change, that might actually happen. I think we should abandon the current administration and take to governing ourselves in some sort of democratic system where people vote. I think we have some documents around here. It's so cute that R&D has fantasies. I do have fantasies. So yeah, it's gonna be a mess, I think, regardless. It's gonna be a mess. I don't know. At this point, I kind of tweeted about this, and it's a horrible thought to have, but it might be a necessary one, and I really don't like it. But I am genuinely considering owning a firearm, which is awful because I'm not for firearms at all. Remotely am I for firearms. But watching the fact that we now have federal agents just kidnapping random ass people on the streets, like that's extremely worrisome. Like it's not get a water arm instead. It's true. Like those kinds of things are extremely worrisome. Revolutions tend to be, and this is a technical term, fucking messy. They tend to be very messy. And again, like I think we need a revolution. I just don't want it because they might be messy. It depends on winning both House and Congress for Biden to determine how much he gets done. I don't think he'll get anything. Like again, my hope is that he gets absolutely nothing done, because he just gets out of the way and lets the Democrats, hopefully progressive Democrats, do all the work, and he just sits there and does nothing. That would be the best, because I think that anything that he tries to do is going to be towards stopping change. I'm fairly certain of that. Like he's no. Yeah, that's kind of where I am on that. I don't see him doing anything good. On the bright side, I don't see him doing anything bad. Like the bright side of it all is that if we do get Biden, I don't think he'll do anything horrible. Like I don't think he'll fuck everything up, which is nice. Which is nice to think about, considering what state that we are in, that like everything is terrible now. So he can't make things worse, which is nice. I wish he was actually willing to make things better. But yeah, again, that's going to depend on how much by you know which if we win the House and the Senate, if Democrats win the House and the Senate and whatnot. So yes. Let's go back to this guy here. He said he's lying about something from New York Times, and I kind of lost track of things. So, okay, let's go.
Story. So, to clarify, we are publishing our official guidelines. First, believe all women. Then suddenly stop without warning. Then make up excuses for why you did before and don't now. Then start up again later whenever it's convenient.
Okay, so yeah, so he's entirely making this shit up. I love it. With both House of Congress, we'd be able to pass portions of platforms, which would be an improvement. Yes. I do agree with that. Like I said, my best hope for Biden is that he just sits there and does nothing. That is my best hope for Biden. Is that he sits there and lets the actual progressive people in the Democratic Party to push platforms that are gonna make changes. But that is gonna require both the Senate and Congress kind of being in control, like of Democrats. But even then, I say that, but even then I'm so skeptical, because like even super popular things, like I know that people don't like Medicare for all, but like it's so fucking popular, not just within the within Democrats. It's so popular within the general population to have Medicare for all. And I don't think it necessarily has to be Bernie's Medicare for all, but it like a Medicare for all thing is so incredibly popular, and yet the Democratic the Democratic Party is like refusing it, even though it's such an easy win for them, but they're refusing it. And I'm pretty sure I know why they're refusing it, because they'd have to go against their donors more than likely, and they don't want to do that, obviously, because that's where they get their monies. But like platforms like that, like they are incredibly popular. And I think even I know people don't like the term defund the police, but I think even things like defund the police are getting more traction. The BLM has done a great job at Medicare for all is probably people think. When you break down the polling, Biden's plan is more popular. What did I miss? I don't know. So far, all the polls that I've seen maybe you have a poll that you can share for me, but so far, the polls on Medicare for all seem to be incredibly popular. So, if you can find a poll that says otherwise, I'd love to share it. But I feel like I kind of looked this up a little bit ago. And we can look it up. I like looking things up. Looking things up is important because then you don't look like a jackass. Or you do, whichever. Poll Medicare for all. Let's get this window going. Bam. Nope, that's still in the wrong window. I don't want you to do that. I want you to do this window for me, please, and thank you. Where are you? Where are you? Thing. There we go. No, why are you doing that? That window is gone. Don't look at that window. Oh, goodness. You useless whore, you. There we go. No, there it is. Okay, Medicare for all polls. What's a good one that we like? The Hill? Did we like the Hill? I don't know. Did we like the Hill? KFF? I don't know what KFF is. This is a website. I don't know. Filling the needs of the trusted information. KFF. So this is one of the polls that I've seen. Let's go back. On Medicare for all. Most support federal government doing more to help provide health insurance, but Republican support has declined over time. So overall, and this isn't Medicare for all. This is obviously not Medicare for all that they're doing. This is just support of doing something. Kaiser Family Foundation. That's what this. We got this one, which says a national health plan didn't garner majority support until 2016. Public more likely to favor than oppose a national Medicare for all health plan. Do you favor or oppose having a national health plan, sometimes called Medicare for all, in which all Americans get their insurance from a single government plan? And that has been fairly steady. It looks like from 2017 up to about 56% in this May, has been 56% approval, 41% oppose. What else we got here? Partisan divide, with 3/4 of Republicans opposing Medicare for all, while 8/10 of Democrats in favor. Do you favor or oppose having a national health plan, sometimes called Medicare for all, in which Americans get their insurance from a single government plan? Again, looks like Democrats to do strongly favor, mostly favor, and very, very few of them strongly oppose in any way, shape, or form. Opposite for Republicans, and in total the majority again. Terminology affects public opinion on national health plan. Oh, so this is probably what you were talking about, Red. Do you have a positive or negative reaction to the following insurance? Universal health care coverage has the highest positivity at 63%. Medicare for all has the next one at 63%. Also at 63%, I should say. It does seem to also have a bit of a higher negative opinion about it. National health plan is less. Single payer health insurance and socialized medicine are lower than that. So again, so far, at least when you use the term Medicare for all from this one poll, which I understand there's more than one poll. Like I'm not gonna say this is the end all be all to polls. Just, looking at one poll. It seems to be, again, pretty high up there. Pretty high up there overall on approval of it. the big sticking point is the elimination of private insurance for people. Maybe. So I mean, so far, and again, I saw one poll. Like, if you wanna bring up other polls, definitely we can put them in the chat. We'll look at them. I have no issue with that. The only true poll is a Twitter poll. That is true. But pretty much every poll that I've seen has had a positive reaction to Medicare for all, or even in like this case, some sort of universal healthcare. I guess hey, research time. Why not? Let's take a look at the Biden platform for a second, I suppose. I don't know what his platform is, because I don't know. I don't pay attention to him. I don't care for him. I don't like him. Go away. I don't want to donate money to you. Just give me your goddamn platform. Biden Sanders Unite Task Force recommendation. Views on 2020 issues. Here we go. This is from Politico. Hopefully y'all can see it. There we go. Joe Biden. All categories. Joe Biden's position on. Let's go to healthcare. What is his position on healthcare? Abortion with some limits. Already disagree with that, because fuck that noise. I don't know if I've ever said this, but in my opinion, it's none of your goddamn business. Also, it should be covered by healthcare. All of the healthcare should cover it. ACA, which is Affordable Care Act coverage expansion, build on ACA's foundation. So few Democrats urge Affordable Care Act is working perfectly, but some candidates say it's healthy enough to keep building on it. Some candidates, like former President Joe Biden, said health reform should be made slowly and in small steps, starting by improving the ACA, and then by potentially adding public options. They say that the preferable. See, again, this is the whole slowly thing. I know this is like, I know we talked about like having thick changes, but we need thick changes. We don't need like slow changes. The fucking country's in a pandemic. We should have big changes. Most people already have access to quality healthcare. They argued that focus should be on serving the many who are still uninsured. Other embrace Medicare for all as a dream goal, but content that Democrats must be more pragmatic. Get to universal coverage through a series of small improvements, such as lowering Medicare eligibility to age. Yeah, so this doesn't. So, yeah. So okay. So then we got the actual Medicare for all stance here, which is he opposed Medicare for all, but would expand coverage. Many candidates in large Democrats fields have come against Medicare for all, criticizing the expected cost, pledge of $30 trillion over the next decade, and the distribution to patient to healthcare system resulting from forcing everyone to a single government-run plan. Many in this camp say they favor an alternative approach, allowing people to keep their private insurance while making a government plan available to anyone who prefers it. Pete Buttigieg, for example, has promoted a plan which going after Medicare for all as a divisive and unrealistic, saying candidates that support single payer aren't showing enough regard for American people to make their own decisions. The competition from public opinion, Buttigieg and others argue would also drive down costs and private insurance. That a more fucking competition does not. No, I'm not gonna fall into this capitalism bullshit. Competition does not drive down costs. If it did, costs would be super low in the U.S. because that's what we've been letting insurances and Medicare medical services do for a long time, and it hasn't driven prices down. It's driven prices up. Definitely in the opposite direction. So far, I mean, I don't know. Also, dental care should be medical. Yes. Also, dental care. That is 100%. I don't know. From looking at his platform, and again, this is from Politico. This isn't from him. This is the kind of thing that I'm talking about. Like, so far, from the two things that we looked at, and again, I looked at two things. There might be more out there. And the two things that I looked at, the polls show that most people, not just in the Democratic part, not just Democrats, but most people in general, along with the vast majority of Democrats, agree in Medicare for all, universal health care. And yet the Biden camp and the Democrats in general refuse to actually embrace that stance, which I think is incredibly stupid. Like, this is a home run for you. Like, this is the softest pitch that can ever be pitched at you. And Democrats are like, nope, we don't want that pitch. We are gonna sit here and take our weird ass stance of trying to make sure that you don't lose your private insurance, which is like a conservative talking point. Like, that's such a conservative talking point. Like, you're just like, no, we're gonna embrace this conservative talking point that we don't want you to lose your private insurance. Where even if we did, right, we're not going to, like, that's the other thing, you're not gonna lose private insurance, but even if you did, the outcome of losing your private insurance is still better than the current private insurance that you have. I can guarantee you that, because private insurance sucks. I have private insurance, it is not good. And I work for a goddamn hospital. I work for a hospital, and I have to, so this is something that's happened in my clinic, and I feel like it's worth talking about. I've had, so I have my own insurance, right, through the hospital that I work. I work for for the medical system, and even my insurance does not cover the services that I provide at the hospital that I work at. That's how broken insurance is. That's happened in the past, where we've had people with my insurance, the same one that I have, who can't get services at the very place that they work at because it's not covered. That's how that, like, if you think that private insurance is somehow, people have been convinced that somehow their private insurance is good. It's not. It's terrible. Your private insurance is awful. You've just been convinced that it's actually good. It is not a good it is not a good insurance plan. You've just been convinced that it is. Getting rid of it is probably gonna be a better outcome for you overall than keeping it. And we just gotta stop using these conservative talking points of like, oh, you're gonna lose your insurance. Yeah, you might, and you're gonna get something better at the end of it, and that's fine. Like, deal with it. I don't know. That's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. This is why I don't like Biden. This is why I don't like the Democratic Party, because they have a very, what I think should be, like, right now is the time to have a very easy win. Not just a very easy win, but also, like, make big changes. Like, right now is the time to do that. People are pissed. People out there demonstrating. People are showing you that they want big change. Like, that is what the country is showing Democrats right now. People are out there getting their asses tear gassed, and that ain't fun. And they're doing it because they want big change. And the Democrats are, like, twiddling their thumbs, like, I don't really know what they want. Like, no, people are actually telling you what they want. They want universal healthcare or Medicare for all, whichever one you want to use term. They want big changes to police. I get it. I know people don't like defund the police, but that's what people are out there telling you that they want. They want to defund the police. People are out there wanting, things, a lot of things that are basic necessities to be rights rather than like, things that you earn or whatever. Like, that's what people are telling you, and yet nobody is listening. Nobody's like, so very few politicians are listening, which is why I think that if Biden wins and he does nothing, like actually stops progress, I think you're also going to get into a whole lot of trouble, because like, people are tired of sitting around waiting for this shit. People have been waiting for that. Like, this is what Obama promised. How many years ago did Obama get elected? 12 years ago, right? This is what Obama promised 12 years ago when he got elected. Like, I'm gonna make all these big changes, and then the jack shit. Or what little changes he did were, well, little changes. And I think that's only just gonna aggravate people more, where people are just gonna be like, people are fed up with these promises of changes that never happen. That's why you like, I think that's the anger that you're seeing from people protesting and things. It's just crazy, man. Imagine the police station's fire insurance pay. Paying to not die should not be a thing. Exactly. It's, and again, COVID has the nice thing about COVID. God, that's a sentence. The nice thing about COVID is that it's shown that one, the thing that conservatives were all pissy about, like the death panels and shit, right, actually exists, and they exist because Republicans do stupid choices. So death panels do exist, and it's not because they're in the ACA. It's because there is somebody at a hospital who has to sit there and look at how much your insurance is willing to pay, and they're the ones who get to decide whether you live or die. So they do exist, and they exist based on how much money you can pay or how much money your insurance can pay. So death panels exist. Death panels exist for COVID, where hospitals are too full and have to turn away people for coverage for COVID shit because they're too full, and they get to decide if you live or die. So death panels exist, and they're all caused by Republicans. It's pretty much what happened, and it's just that's what happened. We got there, and I think people are pissed and tired of it. It's a nightmare, honestly. God, how many the stories? I don't even know how many of these stories I'm allowed to tell. The less fun part about my job, and as somebody who gets punched and bitten and scratched on a regular basis and spat on a regular basis, the least fun about my job is listening to people's insurance problems and trying to figure out like when you hear about how people can't afford to get services of whatever kind. Like I said, I couldn't get services at my own clinic if I needed them. That is the hardest part about my job. Over getting spat at, over getting bitten, over getting punched, over getting concussions. The hardest part about my job is having a parent tell me about their insurance problems. Because those are the actual heartbreaking things that you have to deal with, where parents are like, I can't, my kid needs whatever, and they can't afford it. Listening to people who ration out insulin, listening to people who are hoping their EpiPen still works after it's been expired. Like those are the wrenching things that I have to deal with. And it's not the getting punched bit. The getting punched bit I can do all day. The having somebody tell me a tragic story about their family, oof, that's when I need a day off. This whole pandemic should drive the big changes as it open the eyes of many, thankfully. Yeah, that's what I think. I think it should. COVID should drive big changes. Will it? I don't know. That's the part that's a little sad. It's like it should genuinely drive big changes. It has shown how flimsy how terribly our system is, how unjust our system is, how much the government doesn't give a fuck about you. It has shown all of this to us. I don't know if it will. I don't know. I think the election in November is going to be a lot bigger of a deal than I think we are realizing it yet. Because I think regardless of who wins, I think if there isn't a big change that people want, because people are now like, COVID has opened my eyes at how terrible things are. If there isn't big change afterwards, I think people are going to be pissed, and I think that's going to be the revolutionary part of it. And again, it's not something that I want. Like I'm not like LARPing for a revolution or anything. Like I don't want that. If there isn't big change, if there isn't big change, RJ's gonna buy a gun. I am tempting to go buy a gun every weekend. Like every weekend, I'm like, I should go buy a gun. And I don't want to. But again, like people are getting kidnapped in the middle of the street, in the middle of daylight, by federal agents for no good reason, and it's terrifying. It genuinely is a scary thing to have to do. I haven't in a bit because Omaha protests are also kind of scary. Is that like that's like, as somebody who protests, like I don't want that to happen to me. I really don't. You really think you're gonna be able to shoot the agents? The agents are the least of my worries. I'm more worried about Trump supporters with their nonsense. But like at some point or another, like I'm usually not like, I'm not usually be a man by a katana. I don't have a katana. I looked up there. Yeah, because fat guy with a gun is very different than a guy with a Kevlar vest. Again, not something that I want to do. No, shooting fences is not going to make things better. That's not. It's genuinely like, I don't. I don't usually feel unsafe. Like I don't like it's not like something that I feel like. I'm not somebody who sits around worries that someone's gonna break into my apartment and take my shit. Also if somebody breaks into my apartment and wants to take my shit, I'll be like, take my shit. Like your whatever it is you want, is not worth your life or my life or anyone's life. Take my shit. That's fine. I also have renter's insurance with theft protection for that very reason. So if somebody were to come into my house and be like, I want all of your shit, okay, like have it. Would you like some help carrying it out to your vehicle? Because I don't value stuff that much. Like whatever. Take all my garbage. I do worry that like tensions are really high and there are way too many people out there with guns now, so I feel like maybe I should add myself to it. I don't know. It's probably irrational. It's probably a very irrational thought to have. And I could see that. I understand that on an intellectual level that I'm being incredibly irrational. Also, fear's a thing, so I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Probably am wrong, but who knows? I will unfortunately only find out after November 3rd, 4th, whatever day. But where I live, you have to shoot to kill, otherwise you get sued. Oh yeah, that is true. There are places that's worrisome. Color vest, gas masks, and helmets is the way to go. I like that. Kevlar vest, gas masks, and helmets. That is not a bad idea. Again, I don't want to like. I'm not LARPing for revolution. I don't want that. But every day that I see the news, I'm like, I get all worried. All right, so it sounds people are saying that I'm breaking up. Am I actually breaking up? Who knows? I will check here in a second. Let's get back to our video of what's his face, which we have not talked about all that much. We've talked about a whole bunch of other things instead. Excellent connection on the YouTube side is what it says. So that's all I got. Get a club. Bludgeoning is the best weapon in the apocalypse. Guns run out of ammo. Blades go dull. Bludgeoning is the best weapon. I also have a bow, so I do have piercing damage if I need it. I'll learn to meditate and then get myself some key empowered magic strikes which aren't resisted by anything. Microbloganism. Oh goodness, I'm not starting that fight, but I am starting that fight. All right, let's go on.
Second, the time when men can sexually assault women with impunity has ended. Then it briefly started up again in approximately 1993, and now it's ended again unless something comes up, and then we'll let you know. Third, from now on, the Me Too movement has been renamed Me Too, but not necessarily you.
Okay, I do hate that I kind of agree with him. I had to reboot your headphones. All right, I kind of hate that I agree with him. Oh, I really like. You're right. I know. I think a lot of people took advantage of the Me Too movement and did the Me Too with exceptions. Me Too, unless it's inconvenient to me. Is that like I kind of agree with him on that, which is sad. I don't want to agree with this guy. I'm sure he's an idiot. The best weapon is being really sexy. Have you seen this hair? Look at this hair. Look at this hair. Oh, look at it. I'm already there. Look at this nonsense. I posted it. My wife hates it because I posted a picture of my hair down and just my hair down. Look at this nonsense. It's so long and I look so dumb. Look at this. I look like Markiplier. That's his name. That's his name, right? Like look at this nonsense. That is not oof. I can if I try hard enough. I think I get really close to doing the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 3 look. If I like comb it just right. There we go. Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 3 look right there. There we go. I just need to do some hip movements, whatnot. But it looks awful and I hate it. So we're gonna put it back back where it's not making me look stupid. How do you think I was able to move out of Albany without being shot? Oh, what? Just get some +1 bikini armor R&D. That's all I really need, honestly. You're more like the guy in the video, no hair. Yeah, I will never have that problem. I don't think all my grandparents have all the hair. I think the Spider-Man 3 moment ruined the Maguire career. My favorite thing about that, the Spider-Man 3 moment, is not actually in Spider-Man 3, but it's in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, where they make fun of it. That's probably the best thing that came out of that movie. is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse making fun of it. I think it's great. You look like you just got back from being out drinking till 8. Yeah. That's not. Yeah, this hair. I swear, it's a little much. I don't. It's got to stay back. Which again, why the hair bands are necessary. All right, moving on to more of whatever Andrew has to say here.
This will lend clarity and credibility to our hypocritical double standard, unprincipled bias, and lies. Fourth, due process demands that accusations of sexual assault be backed up by corroborating evidence, like.
Okay, I'm gonna skip ahead because I don't actually disagree with you on this, and I hate that. Oh, look, we got some racism. We got some obvious racism, guys. I love this. Oh, this is gonna be obvious. Do you see that? This is gonna be obvious racism. I love every bit of it. I'm not an object. She's not. Look at this. There's like a little cartoon in this. Forward. Okay, here we go. I think this is the beginning of the cartoon. Oh, look at this.
Oh, hunky dunky, life is tickety boo. Birds are winging, also sing.
Did you... I love this. Oh no! Did you see her? Her tits were out, and then they weren't because conservatism. and Disney. Oh my goodness, I do love it. I do love it. This is super bad. So here's the thing, and I'm gonna say I'm not a woman, so I will let the women in the chat agree or disagree with me, because that's entirely their right to do. If a woman has their tits out, for whatever reason they may have their tits out, whether it is because you paid them to have their tits out, or whether it is because they want to have their tits out, that's okay, and there's still not an object. You still don't get to. Just because a woman has their tits out does not mean that you get to treat them like shit. It is not your place to do that nonsense at all remotely. They have you're sunburned easily, yeah, so maybe they don't want to have their tits out because sunburn's a thing. Yeah, just you don't get to do that if you. So yes, I think the whole point of the woman with her tits out and the sign saying I'm not an object is that she's a hypocrite because she's obviously objectifying herself. No, she has the right to have her tits out, and she's still not an object. She still does not get to do that. Plus side, they shade the rest of me. I'm sure I wouldn't be surprised if boobs sunburn more easily. I mean, I can show you mine, but mine are quite pale compared to the rest of me, so I wouldn't be surprised if they sunburn quicker because there's less melanin in them. So it's like how I have a farmer's tan. I have a fairly liberal farmer's. My feet are worse. But I should show off my feet. Feet porn. I have a feet fetish. You get to look at ugly feet. Because my feet are the ones who really show this. Let's see. If I can, we are going to stop absolutely everything so that we can see my feet. Oh, I can even. There we go. There you go. So you can see how absolutely pale my feet are, but you can tell where I wear sandals. And have a tan. So I'm sure my feet burn really easily, except for those like little tanny parts. So there's that one. The other one, I think the other one might be worse. Ooh, other foots. Yeah, you can kind of see where the tan lines are. I haven't gotten as much sun this year, so yeah. I owe you guys a cat for that, probably. I'm probably gonna get banned off of YouTube. I have tiny ankles. I do have tiny ankles. That is true. I don't think my boos have ever gotten sunburn. Really, I used to have a girlfriend who had. We went out camping once, and she got a really bad sunburn on her boobs. It was pretty bad. Like most of this was just like bright red. It was pretty bad. Is now on Wiki Feet. I hope so. I have some funky feet. Hey Alhana, how are you? I hope you're having yourself a wonderful Sunday. We're talking about feet. No, we're talking about sunburns and boobs. Because this show is classy as all hell. All right. So with that said, we can watch more of this super cringy cartoon, because super cringy cartoons are super cringy, and I love every bit of them. Did they just bump into a wind turbine? Is that what just happened? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay, ready for this? They're going to run into a wind turbine. Okay, here we go. Wind turbines kill birds. Oh, okay, I love it. Okay. I can't. Okay, here we go. Oh, this is really bad. This cartoon is real bad. I love it. So okay, let's I'm sure we can make predictions. So we have an Arab in the back with a knife. Nothing racist there at all. And we have a tree hugger up front, barefoot tree hugger. I'm sure he'll get closed as soon as he gets near whatever this guy is. Oh god. Okay, here we go.
Ship shape tipsy topsy. Lord.
He put on a You see that guy? Oh no, that is so bad. Oh my goodness, look at that. Oh no, go back and forward. Oh no. Oh no. This is so bad. This is so bad.
Ship shape.
Yeah, look. So he's gonna get all corporate here with his suit, and then the light of whatever this is goes gets off the Arab guy. So obviously the Arab guy, the first thing he's going to do is strap himself with bombs and explode himself. That's the first thing he'll do, obviously, and also make an extremely racist sound when he does it, because why wouldn't he, right?
Topsy. Lord.
There wasn't even words. Oh my goodness, that's just as bad as like the Native American, like Indians do the whoa 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 thing. Like, oh my goodness, that is so racist. Jesus fuck. Oh, I think the owl died too. Oh god, this is so bad.
Zippity zing. It's so.
Okay, so his light is making the economy better. I don't know.
Day, hurrah, hooray! It makes me.
What? I'm real confused. Do you think liberals want grandmas to get run over by buses? Is that? I think that's where we're at.
Want to sing. Oh, hurrah, hooray! Oh, hooray, hurrah!
Was that just your intro? Oh my goodness. Okay, I don't even know what the point of that was besides blatant racism. Okay. Fantastic. Love every bit of that. It was great. So things are okay-ish. The conservative guy passes by pretending everything is fine, and then after he passes, everything goes even more to hell. That is what I got from that. That's a good point. I think there's definitely probably unintentional. What's that? There's that one movie. I never even watched it, but there's that one movie with the sunglasses that let you see what like the real world looks at. It's what all the conspiracy nuts like to use is like, I can see the real world, right? Kind of thing. So this to me, They Live, is that the name of the thing? This seems to be like almost like I think he's trying to do that. I think he's trying to be like, yeah. The rest of the nation the rest of the world tries to tell you that the world is shit, but if you look at the world through conservative eyes, everything is fine. I prefer Toad's Wooden Toad's interpretation of it is that more like conservatives just wear like rose tinted glasses and they see all the horrible shit around them and they're like, no, everything's fine. But everything around them is actually genuinely shit. And they just pretend like the things around them are good. I like that better. I really do like that one. The fire is just burning with nationalist pride. Yeah. Bye, biker. Have fun. All right. Oh goodness, that was extremely cringy. God, I love conservatives. You guys are so cringy. I tweeted this out earlier, and maybe I gotta find that tweet again because I do think it's hilarious. So some website, what's it called? Like the honeycomb, the honeybee, something like that. Like tried to do pretty much like we are the Onion but for conservatives, and it turns out that when the Onion is for conservatives, all they do is they still have like their one joke, and that's it. Because conservatives only have that one joke, and you know exactly what that one joke is. Everybody knows it. But I did entirely 100% enjoy that. Where's your thing? Where's your thing? It's not that. That's not it. Where is it? Google Chrome. Take me to my Twitter. There we go. Google Chrome, take me to Twitter. Because conservatives, so they have like that one, they have that one joke. So when conservatives try to be funny, they can't because they only have one joke and it's that one joke. So I do love it. So this is the Babylon Bee, that's what it's called. DC rebrands Wonder Woman as Wonder Person who menstruates. Because liberals, right? Wolverine gender reassignment surgery unsuccessful. So pretty much, in case you don't know, the one joke that conservatives have is transphobia. That is their one joke, and it's like, oh, you get to identify as anything. I identify as an attack helicopter. Ha 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 ha. Aren't I the funny? And so that again, like this is their one joke, and it's hilarious that they think like this is the one thing that they find comedy with. It's also real cringe. Like, God, conservatives, you need to stop being so cringy. Like, get some actual humor. Some actual humor would be good for you. You should work on that. You should work on it. Don't forget liberal tears. I guess they do have the liberal tears. For people who hate communism, they seem really cool with sharing a single joke. I know, right? The thing is, the Onion isn't like, it's just that one side is fucking dumber. It's true. Oh God, conservatives, get a better joke. And again, so the thing that this guy had was pretty much like the other jokes that conservatives haven't made for a long time, but there was just the other jokes there. I didn't understand the grandma one. The grandma one was a little weird. I didn't understand why. I guess liberals want to run over the grandma. That's a thing. I didn't know that was a platform or a stance to take. All right, moving on.
So you know how you sometimes have to clean useless stuff out of your computer so it doesn't slow down? Sometimes you have to do that with your brain too.
I want to do that to your brain. Oh, that was rude. I shouldn't have said that. I know so many other kin people that I can't tell when people are joking about their identity, so they just believe, which annoys conservatives. I just believe, which annoys conservatives. Conservatives are easily offended. It's a thing. What did you miss? Very conservative, things. Facts and logic, you all. Facts. Did you guys see the Ben Shapiro thing? I did love the Ben Shapiro thing. Thought Slime made a really good video on it. Where Ben Shapiro is like, empathy makes you not a sociopath. And it makes you care for other people, so it's terrible for politics. Is just the saddest. Like, you should care about other people's feelings when it comes to politics because your decisions affect other people. Maybe you should care about how it affects them. Like, I feel like empathy should be more in politics and not less in politics, but that's just my opinion. Oof. All right, let's listen to a little bit more of this guy.
Especially in the political world, where you can get so angry watching Brian Stelter, a man with a face like a buttock, cry like a biatch because he has to go through the same thing every other person has to go through, except with more money. You forget that he's not really worth the brain cells it takes to insult him, though that's kind of fun. So I'd like to begin today by discussing a few things I think the Chinese flu crisis is not about.
Oh, good. We get to talk about COVID. My favorite subject. Just say bitch. I know. I biatch. Um, probably trying to avoid the YouTube ban. Okay. So just off the bat, blatant racism. Yay! More blatant racism. Not like this guy hasn't had any. If you are still in so just to put it out there, Deep Blue for President 2024. What's okay? If you're still calling, we need a bingo card for this, people. We do really do. What the Chinese flu is not about, huh? Cucumbers? Probably cucumbers. Also, not called the Chinese flu. That's not its name. It's actually got a name. It's called COVID. It's called COVID-19 for a reason. That's its name. You should use it. And not be a racist asshole and not use it and use the Chinese flu, which is a racist thing because it is not Chinese. One, already research has shown that it didn't actually originate in China. I think there was a study, right? I think there were studies showing that COVID started in other places besides China, so it's not from China. You should know that one. It used to be that performative empathy was a thing among politicians, but the Trump era has changed all that. It's true. So yeah, blatant racism, great. Love this guy. Already love this guy.
The Chinese flu crisis is not a battle to maintain our sacred American liberties. I would tell you if it were.
Good. Fucking wear a mask. Thank you, buddy. Thank you.
I have a lot of affection for our sacred American liberties and like to think I would fight to defend them. But Donald Trump...
I would like... Oh, you're a conservative who probably thinks it's okay to have, like, the feds show up and kidnap people. Probably gonna talk about that.
...has not seized power for the feds, but has acted responsibly to protect health and restart business while defending federalism.
Oh, that is the funniest joke you've told, and you didn't mean it to be a joke. Oh no. How would he know to tell us if he was happy beam following him everywhere? I don't know. So apparently Trump has been responsible. Apparently Trump has been responsible in reacting to COVID. Goodness gracious. That is a joke right there. If I ever heard one, that's a joke. Performative empathy is still a thing, but it has been boiled down to a single talking point. Think of the children. It's true. To get off topic for a single bit, just because we have Ohana here. That is usually some sort of pearl clutching. That is usually the thing that conservatives want to do when it comes to like empathy, like and it happens a lot. That's the whole thing with conservatives against trans individuals using bathrooms of their the gender they identify as is think of the children, which is a bunch of bullshit. That's always been their thing. Not always been that is their new thing, is think of the children. Also, this is the party, by the way, or this is the group. Conservatives are the group who say think of the children when it comes to bathrooms, but will say let's send them all back to school when there's a global pandemic. This is the same group who will gladly, more than gladly, cut a school's budget so that they can't provide free meals to students when a lot of students, a huge amount of students, rely on free lunch and free breakfast at schools as their, like, those are their reliable meals and that they don't get at home. And conservatives will gladly cut that. Conservatives are also the ones who will gladly deny lunches to kids who can't afford lunches. So the ones who are like think of the children are also the ones who consistently fuck over the children. They don't care about the children. It's a bunch of bullshit. It is performative empathy. It's not actual empathy. Actual empathy would mean that, hey, if you're gonna actually be like, hey, let's care about the children, provide them with food, with regular scheduled meals, make sure that they have good schooling, pump more money into education, put more money into programs that feed and clothe and provide resources for children. Don't just say it when you're all like, oh no, somebody who I don't think is a woman is going to use a woman's bathroom. Don't just say it then. Actually do something about it. But at the end of the day, your whole think of the children is just a way of being a bigot and not a way to actually care about children, because that's how it always works. Think of the children unless they are feeling uneasy about their assigned gender. Exactly. Free higher education, for goodness sake. Yes, free higher education. Another way to think of the children. If you're going to be all concerned for the next generation, provide free higher education so that they are well trained to be able to survive in the next generation sort of things. Also, there's nothing stopping a cis man entering a woman's restroom if they really wanted to rape. That's true. It's true. We should swap the military and the educational budgets. We probably wouldn't need that much of a defense budget. I 100% agree. I think that well, again, one of the things, since I'm shitting on Democrats as the whole video goes by, one of the things that pisses me off about Democrats is how many of them voted for the military budget this year, and how high that was. It was too much. Oh my G, I expected something bad with that intro, but darn, R&D doing free feet porn. I am doing feet porn. That's where we're at now. All right. Yeah, so God, fucking. All right, let's move on to what we put your bets on the chat. What do you think the flu, the Chinese flu is not about? Put your bets in the chat.
And the odd wannabe local tyrant will be foiled by residents and pushback from the DOJ. Threats to liberty may yet come out of this. There may be a depression. There could be civil unrest. Democrats could win the next election. That would be a threat to our liberty, but not.
Okay, I find that hilarious. Again, I don't know what this video. Let's look that up. When was this video released? I don't think it was released too long ago. But let's find out just for funsies when this video was released. The
New York Times.
No, shut up. April. Okay, it was April, so it was a long time ago. Okay, that's funny. Okay, so this is one of those like poorly aged videos, where again, if you haven't been following the news, we now literally have the federal government picking up people on the street for protesting. So the guy who's all like, "Oh, Democrats are going to win the presidency and gain control or whatever," is your biggest concern when the president has been ordering federal agents to arrest random ass people off the street in the middle of daylight with no probable cause. One of those things is way worse than the other. Not gonna lie, like the whole federal agents just kidnapping people is not cool. Everything that has gone on with protest and shit has been very much so in the not cool side of things. No, R&D, those people deserved it because they were leftist protesters. It's true. So that I do find, again, it's one of those double standards where you say that you care about personal liberties or whatever, unless they're the personal liberties of the people that you don't like, in which case, hey, you don't actually care about them. Imagine that. All right, moving on.
Yet, the Chinese flu crisis is not about the media. It's about the media in the sense that they've shown themselves to be utterly useless, dishonest, and corrupt. But it's not about what Brian Stelter feels, or when Chris Cuomo comes out of lockdown, or whether someone had their feelings hurt when the president pointed out that they're dishonest and incompetent.
You mean leftist terrorists? Pasta? They are leftist terrorists. I'm really curious. Like, so the only thing that I can think of, and there's probably more than one, but the only thing that I can think of when it comes to COVID, that I don't know if I've seen the media. I'm not a fan of the media or whatever. I don't know if how many of them have been like lied about any of the things that are going on or have been dishonest about them. So I'm really curious about what he's talking. I'm sure he's just one of those people who hates the media every day, all day long. He wakes up with a hate boner on the media. I'm sure of it. But I would really be very curious about what Andrew here thinks is a dishonest take from the media on COVID. I'd be really curious. It would be terrible. I would be a terrible president. My answers to every debate question would be, I will assemble a team of experts in their field and consult them for legislation. I do love that. The president pointed out other people are dishonest and incompetent. Lol. I know, right? It's true. The president does like to point out to people that they're dishonest. That doesn't actually mean that they're dishonest. He just likes to call anybody who disagrees with him dishonest, right? Um, it doesn't actually mean that they're being dishonest. I don't think you can find an example of where the media has been dishonest about things that the president has said or done or whatever. He's just going to be whiny about the fact that they report on the things that he says and does, and he doesn't like being accurately reported on the things that he says and does. That doesn't actually mean that they're being dishonest, though.
We don't know these people. We don't care how they feel. We don't care what's going on in their minds. We have families and friends who really matter to us. Screw them. It's not about Donald Trump. It's not about how he talks or some random remark or what he said when. It just doesn't matter. By most accounts of the governors he works with and by my own observation, he has done a good job, I would say an excellent job, of managing the twin challenges of what is both a public health crisis and an economic crisis.
Jeez Louise, this video aged super poorly. But even in April, this video would be entirely incompetent. Oh goodness. This video has aged so bad. The US, by the way, Andrew, I know we're gonna watch this video. By the way, Andrew, the US is banned from most of the world. Because this video should be an OnlyFans with all the dick sucking. It's true. That you can't. Oh goodness! Like, a lot has happened since April. Including a whole bunch of people have died. And are still dying. Which you haven't noticed. The economy is going back down. Yay! We are going to probably hit 200,000 people dying of COVID soonish. As our second wave hits, because we never got over our first wave because we're dumbasses. So this overall has aged very, very poorly, Andrew. No, Trump has done an absolutely atrocious job, is continuing to do an atrocious job, and will probably continue to do an atrocious job into the future, until he is kicked out of the White House. So this idea that somehow, he has done a good job is insane. Even in April would be an insane thing to say. Like, in April was when he was saying that, like, it would all go away in the summer, or it would be a miracle, and was doing, like, absolutely nothing to actually try to, like, that was the time where, like, a mass mandate, a, like, national mass mandate in April would have been fantastic. And a lockdown in April, like an absolute, like, let's lock everything down for the next fucking 2 months, would have been great. An actual stimulus package that gave money to the people so they could stay home for like 2 months would have been fantastic. Instead, gave like how many trillions of dollars to corporations? 2 point something trillion? Oh, probably more than that. Banned except for Turkey and ironically Mexico. I know, right? It is very ironic. Like, in April, he could have done so much and did absolutely none of that. And again, hindsight is 2020. But even in April, I'm pretty sure people were criticizing Trump for his inaction because he was pretty much doing nothing about the fact that we were in the middle of a pandemic. And it's only gotten worse because he's continued to do nothing, even though things have gotten worse since April. So yeah, overall, your video has aged very, very poorly, my friend. Things have gotten worse. However, I'm fairly sure that if I were to go find you, Andrew, nowadays, you'd still say that Trump has done a fantastic job, even though we have 150,000 people dead from COVID, which is way more than any other country in the world, except for maybe Brazil, but I think it still might be more than Brazil. And we are still in the middle of a pandemic where most other countries have moved on with their lives because they realize how to fix shit. So yeah, that's great.
The results over the next months will tell the story. Everything else is white noise. The only things that really matter are your health and your livelihood, and the health and livelihood of all our fellow Americans. That's what this is about. It's a disease. Diseases are bad. China is also bad. So Chinese diseases are bad twice.
I'm sorry, what? Oh, gosh. I can't. Chinese disease. China is bad. Chinese diseases are twice as bad. Oh goodness, buddy. Buddy. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. At least the racism isn't subtle. At least the racism isn't subtle. It's very true. I don't like. There isn't a proper response to that besides to laugh at it. Like that's it. There's like I can't give that a response. Like there just isn't a proper response to that besides to laugh at the very blatant racism. Like there's no reason to like argue with why it's blatant racism, because it's blatant racism. It's blatant racism. I wish we could use this to weed the assholes out and send them to explore the surface of the sun. It's true. I would not mind. Andrew, you would be a great explorer of the sun. You should go explore the sun. I'd bet you'd find something neat over there. Give that a try, my friend. Oh, okay. Well, moving on from that gemstone of a comment.
We need to get the economy moving again without endangering so many people that we shut down again. If you can make your living at home, you probably should.
I love it. I love you. Your video aged so poorly. From August 2nd, 2020. Your video aged so poorly because that is exactly what we don't do. And we fuck everything up. By the way, Andrew of the past, we fucked everything up. I'm really curious as to what you're saying nowadays. What was your name? Andrew Kaplan. This is like a research heavy kind of day, I think. Andrew, what's your name? Andrew Kaplan. Andrew Kaplan, right? Yeah. Nope, that's not you. What's your name again? What's your name, buddy? Not Andrew Kaplan. That seems to be a writer of some variety or another. Your name is Andrew Clavin. Ooh, I got close there. Andrew Clavin. Andrew Clavin. There you are. Andrew Clavin. What videos do you have, Andrew Clavin? Have you done something newer than this? May? Oh, you had a thing with Ruben Report in May. Oh, 4 days ago. There we go. What's this all about? Don't care about your ad. So in 4 days ago, Democrats are a criminal organization by the Andrew Clavin show. So I'm super curious as to like if you realized, I'm sure you haven't, how like bad your predictions were. God, the Daily Wire, what a fucking mess. Oh, I gotta show you this. Let me show you what the Daily Wire is like. Whatchamacallit looks like. Their YouTube page. It's pretty bad. Not gonna lie. I want. Is that the window I want? I don't know. Nope, it ain't. It ain't the window I want. Window I want. Oh, live stream, New York Times. Where are you, thing? What are you called? YouTube, the Daily Wire. Where are you? Why can't I find you? Why can't I find you, thing? Go in. There it is. Okay. So, this is what their videos, by the way, look like, which is hilarious. Oh, look at that. He's got Ben Shapiro's Star Wars opinion, costs an SJW to do something. I gotta get that video. Look at that. He's even got that classic lady screaming because fascism just got voted into power. Very, very classic. Also, Ben Shapiro is like a super like baby about the fact that Star Wars isn't all for him. Like it's not written for him. The NBA is back and woker than ever. Look at, oh my god, what titles? Funerals for me, but not for thee. Matt Walsh. Oh god, Matt Walsh is on here. That is awful. Music critic doxed by Taylor Swift fans. I don't know what that was all about. Gosh, this is great. This is all great stuff. Ah, look at all this. Look at all these great videos. Oh, I love it. I love all of it. Oh. I'm sure none of this is Andrew being like, I was wrong about the fact that I said that that I said that things would get better and that they didn't. I'm sure none of it is that. So we're gonna take a quick break because I need a bio break. So we haven't had a break in a while, but we gotta do that today. So I will see you all in a little bit. Enjoy some royalty-free music, maybe some fan art.
Welcome to Andromeda.
All right, and we're back. Yeah, sorry, I didn't forget the music. It's just we haven't done an intermission in a while, and the thingamabob was like not set up correctly, so it didn't show up. The music didn't show up. The fan art didn't show up. It was all a mess, but we fixed it for like 30 seconds. So you know, good times all around were had. Is pretty much what happened there. All right, we got a little bit of a video left, so why don't we try our best to watch through the little bit of video? No, we have a lot of video left. We have a little bit of the stream left. I got that backward. So let's watch a little bit of this nonsense and then see what else. See what other cringy, super conservative shit we got to deal with today. No sound. Oh no. Oh, I muted it. What a silly goose I am. I muted the sound and that was terrible. Oh, let's see. Are you sound playing? Nope, still not playing. Gosh darn it all. I swear. Gosh darn all of this nonsense. Let's try. I really gotta rename some of these things better. I think that might be part of the problem.
Let's talk about.
There we go. He pretty much was like, yeah, it's okay to like be worried about COVID. That was more or less it. That's okay.
Bambi, you're trying to struggle to keep your small business alive, and one of the things you got to take care of is HR, human resources. It can.
Okay, that's an ad. We're gonna skip your ad. I don't care.
Usually what we do is you've been asking me questions, I've been talking, but if you want to send a brief note to me about what's going on in your life, how this is affecting you, please do. I got to keep it short because I don't have time to process all the information, so just send me 3 sentences, but just tell me what's going on, what's important to you, what you're seeing. I would love to know. One more important thing. I'm
going to, come on, buddy. Like, tired of your ads. Move on.
Speak to him again. Later on, I'm going to be talking about, I talked about some great books, some big.
Sorry, there we go.
Stressing. I mean, Andrew Cuomo, I've always had a problem with the Cuomo.
He can't process. Yes, anything more than 3 sentences is too much for this man to process. So if you're going to change, let's go back. He made more sense without audio. He probably did. Yeah, so if you want to send him your opinion, it better be 3 sentences or less. Otherwise, he just can't process that. It's just too much. It's just too much.
Family, they always come across as intellectuals, but the stuff they say is not that bright. I want to play cut 1 as a reporter.
Okay, what? You said something stupid here.
The way our elites think, the processes by which they think, it's just distressing. I mean, Andrew Cuomo, I've always had a problem with the Cuomo family. They always come across as intellectuals, but the stuff they say is not that bright.
I love this bit, right? So one of my favorite things, and this is obviously this stream has to be called like shitting on conservatives video. One of my favorite things about conservatives is their like almost constant like what do you brown nosing, that's the word. They're almost constant brown nosing of the like everyman, like constant browsing of the everyman, like the middle class working folk. There are our people. That's their thing, right? They hate those elitists. They hate those up in their ivory towers. They hate them. They're just out of touch, but they're entirely in touch with the working folk or whatever. Which has a whole lot of problems. One, the first problem is the people who are like the elitists tend to be like scientists and learned individuals who might know how to might know a lot more about the world than you do, and so you end up with this philosophy, this world philosophy that is more about like the way that you instinctively feel, like common sense, which isn't common and isn't sense, by the way, than it is about like actually approaching things in which is the funny part, is not about approaching things in a rational way at all. It's about how you feel about an issue is like the better way to do things, and actually sitting down and thinking about the issue, doing research on the issue, trying to do, create some sort of model about how an issue might affect people, those are all elitist crap, and it's how you feel that's the like the I don't know, the real way to do things. I don't know how to put it. Which is really funny because it's also like the thing that conservatives like Ben Shapiro complain about is that people are too elite and not enough rational, but then deny rational things like everything. It's a giant mess of contradictions. They're very much so like against elitism, but also consistently hate on AOC for being a bartender. Like that's their one joke about AOC is that she used to be a bartender. And she's unqualified, but they're also like, oh, but we love the average Joe, except for bartenders, I guess. Like, so it's this constant like we hate elitism unless it's beneficial to us, in which case we will shed on anyone who isn't an elite. We also hate the all these sciences and whatnots, and you should use common sense. Unless it is something that disagrees with me, in which case I am going to throw away all the elitism, all the common sense, and go towards elitism. It's just a mess. They like the average Joes who knows his place. That is true. He denies the same fancy science that drives his YouTube channel comes out of those terrible elites who mostly working lower middle class. Yep. Yeah, it's very much so like against everything. It's super crazy how again Ben Shapiro is a fantastic example of it. He's such a perfect encapsulation of everything that's wrong with conservatives. Where he on the one hand makes this video complaining about how we need to be more logical. He talks about how there's like these sociology papers that say that we need to be more logical and whatnots when it comes to politics, but will also ignore the same sociology papers that say things that like redistribution of wealth is a good thing, right? He'll entirely ignore those papers, and he'll entirely ignore how much those papers talk about things like empathy, and how we need to be more like it takes a village kind of deal rather than it takes individuals to take care of ourselves. So and Andrew seems to be in the same boat. They just tend to entirely contradict what they're saying on a constant basis. All right, more of this stuff.
I want to play cut one as a reporter asked him about these protests trying to get the economy to open up.
These are regular people who are not getting a paycheck. Some of them are not getting their unemployment check. And they're saying that they don't have time to wait for all of this testing and they need to get back to work in order to feed their families. Their savings is running out. They don't have another week. They're not getting answers. So their point is the cure can't be worse than the illness itself.
Yeah.
What is your response to them?
The illness is death. What is worse than death?
Well, what if somebody commits suicide because they can't pay their bills?
Yeah, but the illnesses may be my death as opposed to your death.
I don't know if I like Kamau, but that doesn't seem like an irrational answer to me. Like, he's right. Like, the illness is death. Like, I don't know how else to put it besides, like, he actually did a good job. Like, the illness is that you might die. So you might, and I also think that along with that is probably the fact that the government, especially Kamau, probably could have done more to help out those people rather than just be like, suck it up, bitch. Which is funny because conservatives are all about suck it up, bitch, all the time, unless it's to themselves, in which case they're gonna show up to governors' offices with guns. So they're definitely like, yeah, why pull yourself up by the bootstraps should be the answer that conservatives would take, right? Like, use up your savings. Why don't you have bigger savings? You should have been saving up. Who was it? Bill Riley, who was all like, you should have, like $10,000 just saved aside in case of an emergency. Why don't you have that? That's what conservatives want you to have. Why don't you have a big savings account? Just pull yourself up by the bootstraps. Find something else. Isn't that what what's her face Ivanka Trump said? Find something else. Those would be the answers that conservatives would give you. Go find something else. If your current job isn't you had to close down for whatever reason, right? You were a server and your restaurant closed down. According to Ivanka Trump, you should go find something else. According to conservatives, go find something else should be the answer. Kamau give you a different answer, which is going to be, hey, the alternative to, like, yes, things are rough, and I don't agree with him, because I think he should do more to, like, to serve his constituents and get him money to be able to stay home. But if considering his position, if the question is, which is worse, like, you're probably gonna die. That's worse. Is that if you go back to work, you're probably gonna die. And which is worse, not having money or dying? In a capitalist system, those might actually be, like, equal. If not having money might be worse, but that's a whole different topic. Yeah, emergency UBI would probably have kept the country afloat through 90% of the lockdown, and could have cut the knees out of the virus. It's true. Because wages have been flat since the 70s. Yeah, I know what. Well, cut the binding site spike thingies. Yes. No, yeah, it would have been good. Definitely UBI would have been great. Through all of May and all of June and all of July. There is absolutely no reason why the country could not have been shut down for that time and just been like, okay, if you're dead, you're dead. If you have no money, you suffer. That's also true. So yeah, it's really is the system at the end of the day that's awful. So again, I don't necessarily agree with Kamau. But I don't think that the what's his name, Andrew, has a better answer, because, like, the conservative answer is pull yourself up by the bootstraps. Go find something else. If you're having, right, like, if you're a server in New York and can't, you got laid off or you got whatever, go find something else. Should have been the answer that conservatives have said, right? Because that's their whole stance. It should not have been, let's reopen the country. It should have been you as the individual, right? Because it's your individual responsibility. You as the individual, go find something else. That should have been what conservatives said, but they didn't. They instead blamed it on the government, because they don't actually believe the things that they say. All of April, May would have meant that they didn't need to be June, July, August shutdown. It's true. Yeah, it is true. We could barely make it 2 weeks. It was pathetic. All right, with that said, we are going to stop the show here for the day. Thank you, everyone, for being here. I do truly, truly appreciate you all coming along to hang out with me this Sunday afternoon. If you would like some more R&D fun and things and stuff, go check me out on Christy Winters' channel next Saturday. We'll be doing more D&D nonsense. I will be playing Monsieur Cookery, and having a terrible French accent. Terrible French accent. As we will be playing a follow-up to a game that I ran, but I'm not running it. Christy is, so that's good for me. I get to actually be a player for once and not be the DM. So go check that out next Saturday if you'd like to. I am still working on a video on Shannon and Jimmy. The script is written. I have some recording to do and some editing to do, and then it should be all done. But the script is written. I just gotta sit down and do some recording, which might happen after this, now that I'm all done with the show. Looking forward to the session. Yes, Ohana will be be there. Jelly will be there. Michael will be there. Pasta will be there. I believe if you want to be my college friend Kelsey, she'll be there. And I don't know who else will be there. I'm missing somebody. Ozma, maybe? I don't know. Shoot, who am I missing? There's 6. Oh, me. I'll be there. I was like, who's the last player? It's R&D. R&D will be there playing Monsieur Cookery. So I will be fighting with the power of cooking, as one does. But yes, thank you everyone for being here. Have yourselves a great rest of your day, and I will see you all next time.